Welcome everyone to my holiday humbug series, something I'm trotting out here for the first half of December to do something different here on OTRS Central. It's my chance for about the next week and a half or so to talk about several different things pertaining to professional wrestling, whether it be past, present, or future, and just be a good old YWC Christmas Grinch and crap all over it. So many preconceived notions and so many thought processes that are prevalent amongst fans and maybe people in the business, what have you. And I'm here to be the Grinch that says humbug to all of that. The Schleg Daddy Scrooge, if you will. And today's topic, I'm sure a lot of you already have your flaming keyboard fingers ready. And that's fine if you do. But maybe I'm going to extinguish, probably not. You're still going to shit all over this video. And it's whatever, but I'm going to say my damn piece. If you don't like it, humbug to you. The fact of the matter is, the bottom line is I don't get where all of a sudden now, a lot of people, frankly, in the wrestling business, and so many of the fans that go on the internet, whether that be on the dirt sheets or the forums or on YouTube or other social media, where in-ring work became the most important thing and became the only thing that mattered. When did this happen? When did this transition occur? Was this a rapid thing? Was this something that happened over a long period of time as the great shows of WWF and ECW and WCW kind of went by the wayside and you got what you got today? Did you just start focusing on one specific aspect, becoming very narrow-minded on it? I don't really get it. Because here's my thing. If in-ring work was all that really mattered, if in-ring work was the most important thing, if putting on a great wrestling match was all that mattered, then why didn't Shawn Michaels draw better when he was the top guy in the WWF? Why didn't Bret Hart draw better when he was the top guy in the WWF? Why didn't CM Punk draw that well when he was a year-plus reigning 434-day WWE champion in WWE? Why isn't Daniel Bryan a really good draw, money-wise, as a WWE champion? Why don't guys like AJ Styles draw a lot of money? Why don't guys like Davey Richards and Eddie fucking Edwards and Roderick Strong draw a lot of money? Why? Because it's not the only thing that matters. And let's even remove it for a second here and think about the fact of the definition of what good in-ring work is has changed so dramatically to where people today are fixated on totally the wrong things. Great in-ring work is not being able to go out there and bump all to hell and do all types of high spots and flip around like you're freaking monkeys and gymnasts. If you want to see a bunch of people flipping around all the damn time with no real rhyme or reason just to do it, go to the damn circus or go watch some freaking gymnastics. That's not what professional wrestling is. That's not what professional wrestling is supposed to be. Professional wrestling ultimately is about storytelling and telling a story. And now some of you may say, well, in-ring work is part of that storytelling component. And that a lot of times is the ultimate culmination and da-da-da. And that is true. I will give you that. But that does not make it the most important component by any stretch of the imagination. Look, if you sit there and tell me that having 5-star classic matches are the most important thing, then why when a Davey Richards and an Eddie Edwards fights for an ROH can they be lucky to draw 200 damn people? How the hell are you having a 5-star match? How the hell is that great professional wrestling? When you can't even draw a decent house as a freaking wrestling promotion that technically has a form of national television in Sinclair? How the fuck is that possible? How can you have a 5-star match when the ultimate purpose of professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, is to draw money? It's not to sit there and put in 5-star classics and do all these great high spots and bumps. No! Who gives a shit? How about drawing some damn money? That's where the focus needs to be. Maybe it's one of these things that over the years that the wrestling fans started hearing all these shoot interviews, and you had Ric Flair and his shameless self-promotion talking about, oh, this guy wasn't nearly the worker that I was, and you thought, oh, because it's Ric Flair, you know, he's automatically got to be right. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Is Ric Flair really, truly the greatest worker in professional wrestling history? Sure, he's a guy that can put on a lot of good matches, but the fact of the matter remains, he pretty much always wrestled just one style. That was Ric Flair's style. He didn't really teach anybody how to do anything better, and he wasn't really adaptable and adjustable in the way he did things. If you saw one Ric Flair match, let's face it, primarily until the very end of his career, when maybe he wrestled like a Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24, A lot of his matches were the damn same. They really were. And there wasn't necessarily a whole lot of storytelling in them. You know, if we took today's logic of the wrestling fans, and frankly the people in the business that 15, 20 years ago were wrestling fans that started to grow up on this shit and became indoctrinated with this work rate and in-ring work matters bullshit. If you really take a look back at things, if we took this attitude and let's say carried it over to the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era, you guys would fucking shit all over the NWO. You would think Stone Cold Steve Austin was a lame babyface that always gets over and never puts anybody over. You would think The Rock was a bit of a clown. And you would be focused on pushing guys like Jeff fucking Jarrett. Period. A guy with not much in the charisma department, mediocre at best mic skills, definitely didn't have a main event look, but he could go out and put on an okay match. So that makes him a fucking main eventer, right? No, it doesn't make him a fucking main eventer. My God. What happened to professional wrestling where you got so indoctrinated with this bullshit that totally doesn't make any sense whatsoever? It may sound like the incoherent ramblings of an internet madman right here, but the fact of the matter remains, what draws money in professional wrestling, and when professional wrestling is at its best, is when you have great storytelling. It's when you have great larger-than-life personalities and characters. You have great feuds that are developed over a period of time. You have baby faces being built up and heels being built up to this point where they meet at the top. Now when you sit there and trot out this guy versus this guy, oh my God, it's Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins for no damn reason for the 50th time. That's gonna be fucking awesome. Because that's the most important thing. No, the fuck it's not. Dolph Ziggler's character, what the hell is his character? It's lame as shit. Seth Rollins, what's his character going to be? Is he going to be the type of guy that can talk people into the seats? Is he going to be the type of guy that becomes a great larger-than-life character? No. Without these other elements, the matches don't matter. If you think about so many of the most memorable moments in professional wrestling history, if you really think about them, or even some of the most memorable matches in professional wrestling history, they weren't about great work rates. You really think Hogan and Andre at WrestleMania 3 was about work rate? Or was it about the two biggest stars in the history of the business at that time meeting at the biggest show of all time in front of over 93,000 people at the Pontiac Silverdome? The next year, when 33 million people tuned in to watch Hogan and Andre in their big rematch on the main event, do you think they were tuning in to say, oh God, this is going to be a 5-star classic. They're going to do all types of great high spots and bumps and shit. No, it was about psychology. It was about storytelling. It was about the larger-than-life personas and characters of this two. And the way that this feud was cultivated and continued for almost a damn year to get to this big, huge freaking return match. To the point where the match almost became secondary. So many things of the Attitude Era. How many matches do you really remember? Like, even let's take a look at King of the Ring 98. You want to talk about, oh, you remember Undertaker versus Mankind? How great of a match was that from a work rate standpoint? It wasn't. I mean, the bottom line is, Taker throws Mankind off of the freaking cage the first time, then throws him through the cage. They've got tacks and they've got all types of crazy shit. But you sure the fuck remember that. And that's an example right there of doing a bunch of bumps and high spots and everything else. But this was something that mattered, that you remembered, and it made sense because of the long-term storytelling aspects. This was a Mankind that had gotten over on Undertaker many times over a couple of years. This was 2+ years in the making to get to this King of the Ring 98 match. I mean, in today's business now, if you guys sat there and you had CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan have that exact same match with no setup to it at all, you'd sit there and say it's the greatest fucking match of 2013 and one of the greatest 5-star wrestling exhibition classics of all damn time. No, it's not. It's just a ridiculous match with two people that have no business touching in this manner at all whatsoever, and they're not drawing any fucking money doing so, period. Think about it. So many moments from the Attitude Era. Whether that be The Rock and all of his great promos making fun of all these people. Austin driving the Zamboni out. Austin drinking beer. That's the type of shit. The Rock, this is your life. You know, the boss man dragging Big Show's daddy's casket behind the police cruiser. So many great things. Choppy Pee-Pee. The freaking Godfather in his hoe train. Val Venus. I mean, I could go on and on. Rikishi and Too Cool. How much do you actually remember all the matches from that time? How much do the matches really fucking matter? But now if you take the attitude of fans today, by and large, and also, frankly, the people in the wrestling business, it seems like, by and large, they would think all that shit from the 80s was stupid. Because the work rate was very poor. They would say all that shit from the Attitude Era was stupid because that wasn't about the great athleticism and in-ring performances of the competitors and Excuse the fuck out of me. But it would seem like to me the two great eras in wrestling history, during my lifetime at least, the Hogan era of the 80s, early 90s, and then the Monday Night War / Attitude Era of the mid-90s through the early 2000s, you know, there weren't always great matches. A lot of the matches weren't great. A lot of the matches were bad. A lot of the matches had shit in them and numerous screwy finishes and outside interferences that so many of you, if they happened today, would poon the shit out of it. Call it, oh, it's a Disky finish. Oh, it's a Vince Russo finish. Oh, that's a McMahon. What the hell is he doing? He can't book a wrestling to save his damn life. No. You guys seem to not understand what makes good professional wrestling. It's the larger-than-life characters. It's the great feuds. It's the great storytelling that culminates to a point. That in-ring work, the matches themselves, sometimes can be secondary, and that's fine. Sometimes they can be a great culmination point. But they are not the be-all, end-all. And without the psychology involved in a match, then in so many cases today, what you see in professional wrestling is you just see two guys flipping and bumping around for no damn reason. You've got heels getting no damn reaction. You've got baby faces getting booed by more of the crowd than they're cheering. But they're going on there and putting on a great match. Ah, get the fuck out of here. They're not putting on a great anything. They're making themselves look like asses, and they're drawing dwindling audiences and decreased amounts of money. But excuse the fuck out of me, I guess. I guess I'm wrong. In-ring work is the most important thing in professional wrestling. I don't do this video to demean it and say that it doesn't matter at all. But sometimes I feel like professional wrestling fans, and frankly a lot of the marks that now call themselves professional wrestlers, need to understand that it's not the only and it's definitely not the most important thing. Match quality doesn't mean a damn thing if you're not drawing money. Match quality doesn't matter if you're not entertaining the people. How quality of a match is it if it's in front of 200 people? How quality of a match is it if the crowd is sitting on their hands 98% of the time and you don't get the proper reaction, the most important reaction, which is at the finish of the fucking match? If you think that in-ring work is the most important thing, then maybe it's time to reevaluate your priorities in terms of what you value out of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. And if you don't like that, well, humbug to you. And this series is going to continue tomorrow when I talk about why size does matter in professional wrestling.